Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here we did some downtown transit planning and we started building up the downtown core just a little bit. In today's episode, we're going to be building up the downtown core more now that we have all the transit in place for the downtown. So I have a few fun themes we're going to do. We're going to go through some unique buildings, plus I have a few real fun channel updates. So let's hop out and talk about some of these updates. So, oh hey, a cruise ship, just right here in Old Port. So yeah, this is where we are. I've added in some transit. I've continued some transit. I've tweaked things a little bit since the last time we were here. For one, I brought in a station over here, a metro station, which is the metro tram station combo. Or sorry, oh my goodness, monorail tram combo. And we'll be having this monorail run out this way. So if we look at our city with our transit, I can kind of show you what the tweaks were from last episode. So right now we have trams running all the way from here down through the waterfront area. Fantastic. We also have a metro running from our city of Port Roberts, which was our first city, which runs from this side, continues underneath the water, connects up with the trams here, but then it goes into the downtown, into the train station, and then over to our bus hub. The monorail kind of does somewhat of a similar thing for a little while, but it'll go into this direction in the future, continue down into the city, down into the downtown core, across, and then it swings all the way back over here to Kent, where we have our nature reserve area. But we're going to be getting more stops along the way, especially in this zone and then in this zone. But I wanted to make sure that this was running. So we have a separate line that runs from this station into here because that's a pretty long distance. But we also have a bus that runs from here into this area. And then we have a tram that runs from the waterfront up this way, and then another one that runs this way. I'm not too sure how those trams are going to work out yet, but we'll see. And then I have a tram running from this station as well. Runs up this way and then through the mid part of the city, connecting up right out in front of the train station, and then it'll continue north. So yeah, lots of additions here, including this station that I've added in. This is a metro station. Now this metro station connects up into our train station area, and then it'll continue this way, but it also continues out over into here where we have our bus hub. So let's look at our transit planning map just for a quick second, just so we can kind of see these lines that I just discussed in a bit more color, I guess. So there we go. And then we also have a ferry, of course, that runs into here. So with that in mind, we have a lot to develop now. We have our transit network pretty good. We have a lot of fun future stations to be named, and stations to build up with unique themes. So with that in mind, I wanted to get some unique buildings in today, get some more buildings in through here, and it's a short video because I have a pretty short timeline to get this video out. But one channel update that I wanted to bring to you is something that I've been struggling with lately, and that is I have all the buildings unlocked, and I have been reading tons of forums and whatnot to figure out how I can re-unlock them, and I think it's a glitch with one of the mods, and I don't really know. I've done a ton of work in looking into it, and I can't figure out why they're not re-locking to what they were, and it appears that it is a glitch, and so we have all buildings unlocked now for good. That is unfortunate. But it's also fortunate in another way because this is probably the last city we'll have with City Skylines 1, so why not have everything unlocked, right? I think it'd be really fun. We could do a lot of really fun builds with them. There's a couple of buildings that I've never really had unlocked because when we started this channel, it started fresh and we've only unlocked things naturally. I've never really gone out of my way to unlock other things. So that means that we have our fancy dancy hotel that we've been talking about for 2 episodes or 3 episodes now. Our fancy dancy old hotel that was probably built by the railway company as a tourist attraction. That is the Heritage Hotel. It might not do too well but we don't really need to play the hotel game anymore because we don't need to unlock anything because everything is unfortunately unlocked. Apologies for that, but I wanted to be open and honest that it appears to be a glitch from when I unlocked everything to see if this hotel would actually fit in the grid and how I could kind of work around it. So unfortunate circumstances, but in the long run, I think it's going to be good. We're going to have a ton of really fun, unique buildings to play with. So let's click it in. Why not? We've been waiting for this moment. So why this hotel? Well, in the late 1800s and 1900s, as Canada was building their rail network across the country, one thing that the rail companies did and the government was build fancy-dancy hotels at all the major rail junctions. Every city along the main rail networks have a fancy-dancy hotel right out in front of the train station or right beside the train station. So this is ours. This is the Vancouver Hotel is what we're going to call it. Now, in Toronto, for example, there is the Royal York Hotel. There is the Chateau Laurier in Ottawa. There is the Chateau Frontenac in Quebec. And in the prairies, there are also other ones, like there's one in Regina, there's one in Edmonton, I believe, and then there's one in Vancouver too, but the one in Vancouver has been rebuilt a couple times. So we're renaming this one, the Royal Vancouver Hotel, because Vancouver is the theme of the city. This is the city we're taking inspiration from. So we're going to make a little bit of a park area in here. And we're going to make this whole area a fun park. And we're going to call this area Royal Vancouver Hotel Gardens, because we're going to be able to detail this up and make it a fun area for everyone to enjoy. Because these hotels are really, really prominent in these cities, and they always have a ton of beautiful features around them. But I'm sure that when this hotel was built, this was not exactly what it is going to be today. So we're going to make sure that we have maintained our sight lines from the hotel, so we can't really have any too tall of buildings in this block here. I would like it if these hotels or hotel rooms would have some beautiful views of Port Roberts. So I think this is going to be a fun little project in the detailing time-lapse. But this brings us to our next topic. How are we going to add in some more unique buildings? I'm planning on kind of plopping down a bunch of unique buildings, and then we'll go off of that in today's episode. We'll kind of build up around it. But unique buildings are really, really important for cities, right? Because they bring in lots of really unique views, and these signature buildings, they really bring a lot to a skyline. So there's a few themes that we can add in, and with having everything unlocked, we have the ability to kind of add in a few more fun things than we probably normally would. But we have a bunch of really fun buildings now in these unique buildings that we can add in that we never really had unlocked before. But there's one building in particular, the Sea to Sky Scraper, and this building here screams to me Vancouver. The really awesome height, but also like the large garden area around it, I think that is really, really cool of an addition. And I want to get it close to the city, but I don't want to get it too close to the city. These are rail lines that no longer exist, so I think we can get away with kind of tweaking these a little bit. These are just historical rail lines that the city hasn't removed. Yeah, very fun. Okay, I think this will work out great. Yeah, what a beautiful building, and the way the parking works out and stuff like that, that is fantastic. That is it's going to add a lot to the skyline of this area, particularly because it's going to be one of the buildings of height on this side when the downtown core is over here. Okay, so let's continue down the line, because we can even add in the sparkly unicorn rainbow park now. I don't think we're going to get this in right here, but how exciting is that? How amazing. So another signature building that I wanted to add in, and saying signature buildings because that's what they're calling it in CS2, is the stock exchange. I really want to get this building in, but I don't want to level it up fully, but I think it'd be really neat to kind of get in this area. When I was originally planning it out, I was thinking it could go really nice right out in front of the train station, but I wondered if it would be okay if we put it on this side instead, but I think it probably makes sense to have it right out in front of the train station. Okay, so if we're thinking about the development of the city itself, we have our main train station. The original city probably would have popped up along the water here. We have our Royal Hotel. Let's create a bit of a financial district around this area right here. What if we place this right on this intersection here? We get rid of these roads. Now, all these roads are up for grabs. Like, I can delete them as I wish, because because I just use these roads as grid planning. Just planning out things, making sure things fit. But why don't we just pop this down right here? That makes fantastic sense. We have a bike tram road running down through here. We have a main train station right here too. Plus we have this awesome road now. It runs right down the street. We can see the train station. I think this is okay. But because of this road's prominence now, I think we should upgrade it to a different type of road. Awesome. Okay, so now we have this fantastic view, but I do want to level up the station a little bit, or the stock exchange, because I want to get the next level of building. So let's play this game really quickly. Okay, fantastic. Now, I believe if we were to upgrade this a little bit more, it might look a little too different than what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking this building looks probably the best we can get it to out of the versions. I don't really want it to get too skyscrapery. I want it to be a bit more of a historical building, so I think this is probably as far as we're going to go with the stock exchange. But because we have all these stock exchange buildings unlocked, we can add in some really fun plazas, like this elevated plaza, for example, fits really nicely. I think that'll go really nice in a business park area. So we can get that in later, but the International Trade Building is a building that I'm thinking of that would look really nice if it fits in our grid, because if it doesn't fit in our grid, then we're going to need to bring it up to here, I guess. Yeah, I think this looks the best right here for that. Okay, so that is the finance buildings. And any other major buildings that I want to get in? Just thinking really quickly. Well, of course there are. There's a ton of buildings that I want to get in. We're going to save these, but the office zone landmark might be a fun one to kind of add in as well. This one fits in really unique spots. So I think we could probably get this one to look really nice if we slide it in the right location. But I don't think the grid really works for this, but it might work out over here. Because of the large plaza area, I'm thinking we should probably maybe try to keep this on a pedestrian zone. I think that would be neat. And we have a pedestrian street right here, so let's plop that down and take a look at it really quickly. Yeah, I think that looks really nice right there. Okay, I think we can keep this office building here for sure. So let's continue with some of this plopping of buildings a little bit, and then we'll get going on some other things. I don't want to do too much because I know this takes away from kind of the vibe that we've normally kind of approached, and we have to, you know, do the mini games to unlock the International Trade Building and whatnot. But I feel like having this mainstay tower here will be really important for the coming weeks. But I want to get a few more hotels in, because hotels, you know, you have to have major hotels in these cities. People come to these cities for business, they come for them for pleasure, so we need to have multiple types of buildings. And the conference hotel just makes a ton of sense to have downtown. Now I'm wondering how big this is. Oh wow, this is a rather large building. Should we have this closer to this station here? Yeah, I think it makes sense to have this right here, right in front of the Stock Exchange Plaza too. Let's plop this down right there. That makes sense. And then we have a bit of extra space to play with around the station itself. Yeah, that is a great building to place down right there. But that is not the only type of hotel we have. We have these city hotels, and these ones are fantastic because they come in 4 different variations. So we can get them in 4 different sizes. So let's get another hotel right out over here. And we can plop this one down right there. Ooh, it's a really awkward size for our grid. But I think if we plop this down maybe right here. Yeah, I think that's a good size. And then we can choose different variations of the hotel. So we have this one here. Let's see if we can get rid of this view and come at it at a different angle so we can actually see the building itself. Nope, we can't. Okay, it's always going to hide a little bit of the building apparently. That's unfortunate. So we have the smallest one, we have the tallest one, but we have a small and wide, and we have a tall and wide. So I think we're going to go with the tall and wide one for this area. But it doesn't mean this is the only hotel we're going to have in this zone. Because there are these town hostels and stuff like that, which look fantastic in smaller areas. So we got to remember to add in some of those down the line. But we also have the budget hotels, which are really, really fun to add in these kind of areas right here. So we have a lot of little buildings over here. So I think we could easily fit in a little hotel right here. How about right there? That works out great. Now we can continue to add in a few more down the line. But I think these are all the hotels I actually want to get in this area. We have this designer hotel, but this one's fantastic, like fantastically large design hotel. So I don't think this is going to really work. We have other hotel options in other areas, like we can add in another city hotel, for example. That is, where are they again? Right here. We can definitely add another one of these at a great location. How about right here? Actually, this is really good because we're right out in front of this train station here. So I think if we get this one to line up right there like that, maybe we use move it. Actually, no, let's not use move it. I think that's a great spot for it. And then we use the small and wide version. I think that would be good for this zone. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay. So what other themes do we want to get in? Because we have some pretty major buildings in here now. We can kind of see the skyline developing a little bit more, especially with this international trade building. I want this building to be the tallest building. It makes sense to do it that way. But besides maybe a few skyscrapers and whatnot, I want to talk about some more themes that we're going to have in this city. So we have our old port through here, right? Fantastic. We'll develop that. But what would have been there first? Industry buildings, right? So we have a legacy building of that. Maybe this was an old warehouse that they'd converted into this tram depot. But it would make sense that these buildings around here would have been converted relatively recently, have the land, maybe the industry doesn't really work on this area anymore, and the city's changed over the land into some different type of zoning, right? So while that is really, really hard to do in some cities, what's happened in Vancouver is that they've put up these large glass towers and stuff in these older industry areas, but they tend to have lots of park space around them. However, I think it'd be really, really neat if we converted an old, tight, small industry area into a pedestrian zone. And I think since we have our wharf right here with the ferry station and whatnot, I think it'd be really neat if we converted Old Port into a pedestrian-only zone. So, last episode we had an issue where this building wasn't being able to be used, and there was some strange icon saying like it can't access it. I figured it out. This building can't be too close to pedestrian roads. It was too close to some pedestrian roads, so that's why I switched it to this tram road, and it works. But if I were to switch this road here to this pedestrian road, it'll flash and telling me that we're too close, or no one can reach the building or something like that. So I want to convert this into a fun pedestrian zone. What's better than that, right? So like, you know, some fun restaurants and stuff like that in the area. So let's grab the pedestrian area, and we're going to paint in an old, or a pedestrian area right in here, just in this kind of zone. Having this hotel right beside the pedestrian area too would be really, really fun. So we have Park Avenue. I think we'll just call it Old Port, because it really should be the same. but we can add in a default style or anything like that, which I don't think we're going to, because we're going to need this to be a pedestrian zone. We can add in specific policies, but again, I don't really think we need to. All right, so inside of Old Port area, we need to add in a few different themes as well. So I'm thinking we add, I was thinking leisure, but wall-to-wall sounds kind of right for this area, but I kind of want to do leisure specialization in this zone. I think that'd be fun, but then we also need high-tech buildings or self-sufficient buildings. But then in the office kind of theme, I'm going to go with the wall-to-wall, so we get some nice color in there as well. And I don't think we're going to get any industry out in this zone, so I think we're probably fine. Now with that in mind, let's convert these streets. All right, so I forgot to place down the service point. Now we have all these awesome service points unlocked, but I don't think we really need that many. So I think we can probably just get away with the large pedestrian area service point. We don't really need a cargo specific one or a garbage specific one. But this would look fantastic over here, right beside the old warehousey building over here. So I think this kind of theme will work. So if we now drag our pedestrian area out from here, we can add in this zone. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger so we don't accidentally lose it one time. Then we can sever the difference here, and we don't need that to be pedestrian, and we don't need this to be pedestrian either. Awesome. Okay, so now we should have that to zone up properly. So this is all offices in here with some residential mixing. Hopefully this all works out. I'm a bit worried about the leisure buildings with the parking aspects to them. Doesn't really make sense to have. So I'll play a bit of whack-a-mole with those buildings as they come in. So what else do we really need in this zone? Well, I want to kind of build up this area in here to kind of fill it out a little bit, but then we'll definitely develop it up more in the future. And then behind these buildings as well. But I just really wanted to get in some buildings in here and eat up some of this demand that we had. But in order to kind of make sure that we have sufficient demand, we should probably think about parks and unique buildings and parks and stuff like that, right? So we have like these plazas, like the Statue of Wealth would look really, really good somewhere, right? So I wonder if we could kind of add this in through here. Now I've been looking for a building that would work well out over here, so why not a statue of prominence, right? So we have a fun statue in here. I wonder if we could get an opposite one right across the street that they kind of work together. Yeah, look at that. That works fantastically together. And then we can make the rest of it some green space, right? So having that there adds a lot of people into the area. It'll raise the land value as well, but so will other parks on top of that. So we have all these amazing parks that we can add in, including like some large parks and whatnot. We have some from the workshop and whatnot, some sports and stuff. But there is one asset in particular which I think is considered a park. That might be considered a unique building. Ah, yes, it's the ice hockey arena. We definitely need to have the ice hockey arena in the downtown core. Although it's really expensive, so I might actually hold off on that, but we should probably plan that out where this is going to be. So I'm thinking this ice hockey arena should probably go out by the unnamed station right over here. So we'll have this one called like Arena Station or something like that. And I believe if we were to sever this, it could work fantastically right here. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I'm going to rename this station Arena Station so that when we have a bit more cash flow, we'll be able to do that. And I bet some of our investments are tied up in this. Yeah, but we should just sell this right now, get our money back a little bit, because I've been spending a lot of money placing these unique buildings down, so we should probably think about getting some of the money back. That would be good, because I don't want to leave the city in a bit of a hole. And why is that? Why does it really matter, Steven? Well, Joy from Joy Build Cities is actually going to be taking the city over for a week. Joy and I are going to be doing a bit of a swap of our cities. I'm going to be building in Fairstead next week, and Joy will be building in Oracle Valley. So Joy will be doing a small town somewhere on the map up to Joy, and I will be doing some fun interchanges leading into an awesome area in Fairstead. So that's what we're going to be doing next week. So next week, I am not in Oracle Valley. I am in Joy's city of Fairstead. We're switching up cities. But then the week after, I will be back with Oracle Valley. So I think that's August 1st. So next week, for 2 episodes, Joy will be building in this city. The playlist will be updated with the videos, so you can find them there. But subscribe to Joy so you don't miss out on a video of Oracle Valley. Because I don't know where Joy's building. I'm excited to see where that's gonna go, because at this point I haven't passed a save off to Joy, but I'm so excited to see it because Joy makes some fantastic builds. And if you don't know who Joy is a member of the Skylines 6 as well. Go check out their channel, subscribe. Fantastic builder. I'm so excited that Joy is going to be building in this city, because I'm so excited to see what themes Joy brings to an awesome small town. So that is why I don't want to leave the city in a bit of a deficit. I don't want to, you know, pigeonhole the situation here where Joy is limited to certain buildings and whatnot. But that's an awful building right there. We have 3 of these. I don't really mind one of them, but that's too many. Okay, this is looking really good. I like these bars. I don't really mind that they're the same next door, but or right beside each other. But I think looking at kind of the theme, I think that works. And then it also kind of works with this area here, having the parking on this side. So that's okay. And yeah, this area is really developing into like a smaller height area. This is kind of what I was hoping for. But we need to bring parks in so that we can bring up the attractiveness of this area. Because if we go to our land value here, yeah, the land value is not that great, right? So let's raise the land value by adding in some parks. We have a sidewalk restaurant, for example. That would be neat if we could kind of get this in here. I wonder if this would look good right there like that. Yeah, we could have a bit of a walk behind the rail area. And then if we tie that in with maybe even another one of the exact same building, because there's different variations of them, right? So we could tie this together and make it seem like it was planned from the get-go. So if we even just bring these together like that, I think it could look good. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll get a fence behind here in the detailing time lapse. And then look at that. We have some great development in this area. Now we can probably think that the land value has gone up in this area as well. Now, tourist park. This could be a good spot. This is Old Port, right? Like, this is a pretty prominent area. But I wonder if we could squeeze in a tourist park like right here. I don't want to add it into the Royal Vancouver Gardens. But it could look really good like right out in front of it, right? So we have some little shops right there. So that's pretty cool. What if we were to add in a bit of high density commercial in here? I wonder what's going to pop up there. And then this kind of brings us to the waterfront area where we can get some more office space. And then why don't we make this all condos? I think that'll be cool. Okay, so running behind here, we need to think about maybe a few more unique buildings, some fun parks, because we have the sidewalk cafe as well, which we can continue along with the theme, right? That would be actually pretty neat, having these lower density buildings that have been kind of converted, but I don't want to overdo it though. But I think that's a really fun thing to add along here. But we can definitely add in a few other ones in this kind of area. Whoa, bit of a lag right there, sorry about that. What if we were to add in an older one Yeah, right here. How would it look right here? If we click this in right there, that one isn't the one I was thinking of, but that looks pretty good. It's this one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay, let's lower this to this height. Let's see how that looks. Okay, it's this node here that's really playing some issues. So if we were to grab this node and set it to that height, we should grab that node, set it to this height. There we go. That looks a lot better, yeah. Okay, and that gives us a bit of space to play with right here for some building of residential variety. All right, now we have a few condos out this way already, so I don't really see an issue with getting a few more, though I do want to make sure we have space for parking and whatnot. Right through here, I think we should maybe get some fun, colorful office buildings. We'll see what pops up. And then right in here, it's a bit of an awkward space, so I think we could probably look to get some office buildings in here with condos filling it out on this side. Yeah, I think that's a good little mix right there. Oh, you missed one right there. Okay. So yeah, Old Port's looking pretty nice. We don't have too much height in this area, which is something that I was looking for. It does dip down, so all the height is kind of leveled off a little bit. And then we have the seated skyscraper being a bit of the tallest of the buildings in the area. Now I am avoiding the waterfront because I want to make sure we have a dedicated waterfront video where we can do all the detailing of it at once. But we need to make sure we have a pedestrian area out this way because we're going to have a few buildings on this pedestrian zone. So that means we need to have a bit of an industrial pocket so that we can get the service building out this way. We could share the service building, but I'd rather not. So I'm thinking if we kind of place this building right here, I wonder if the overlap is going to be too weird behind here. No, actually that works out pretty good. Oh, we have a tree right there. I wonder if we could take that tree out though with BOB mod. So let's go Alt B. We'll call it World Exchange Plaza Station because this is some pretty prominent office buildings in here and whatnot. So yeah, that works out great. And then I wonder if we have our IT district fill in through here, if we could steal that from Northminster district, then we can really add in a lot. Now we could easily just grab Northminster and then bring it down into here then to kind of trade off a little bit. And this way we'll be able to share some zones and stuff. So you can probably tell I haven't really built up in Northminster yet because I'm mainly focusing on the IT district area today. So we're running out of time for the video. So let's get in some of these IT buildings. We don't have a ton of office demand, but I think it would be important to get these in. So that is, yeah, we're gonna have some pretty large office buildings in here. So if I were to do that, that's cool. But then if I take out these ones here, we run a path down the middle at one point. Then we run 4x4 commercial buildings. That's cool. And what if instead of offices right here, we do commercial there and then office here. That's neat. And then right out in front of the monorail here, let's get a few more office buildings. Like that. We can't really get a pedestrian path behind that. I think that's okay to deal with. And then we could do residential right through here, right in that little pocket. Then we have a bit of a park area. We could easily just kind of add in, leave it blank. We could fill it in with, you know, a few assets, but I wonder if some of these mini parks could work out. Yeah, I think that'll add a bit of green space to the area too, which is nice. So let's get a few more office buildings in here. We're really adding in a lot of offices, which means we definitely need to add in some residential. So I think we could probably get away with residential in these two blocks right here. With this area being a hotel, we should probably add in a touch of commercial. And why don't we fill in the rest with residential right in here just to kind of finish off the height. Okay, so fire and police. We should probably think about making sure that we have those services good, because that'll definitely raise the land value. If we look at the land value now, we don't have a ton out this way. We need to add in a few more parks and whatnot, which I kind of stopped doing, but also services. So we need healthcare, which I want to get a hospital in, so let's mark that off because I'm not going to add that in today, but we can mark it off with a park area. So where would make a good hospital area? Somewhere close to transit, but not too far away from anything. And I kind of think this area here in Broad Square would be a really good area for a hospital, right outside of a bus area. So why don't we add in this area be like a hospital area? That would be cool. Actually, it's right beside the rail line. I don't think that's a good idea. Too much shaking and whatnot. But we could add the hospital right in here. So let's add in some more services. We should probably add in a few temporary healthcare buildings then. Like the medical clinic, we can probably get out this way. We could probably just squeeze one in right here. With the death care building, we could add in the crypto conservatory right beside it. That'll save some space, though it is pretty expensive, I believe. No, it's not. Okay, fantastic. And childcare and elder care, I think we can probably leave for now. With same thing with some of these as well. But hopefully that should be good for healthcare in that area. We should probably get another healthcare building down this way, though. We'll go with this one, and we can probably plop that down. Oh, that was supposed to be parking, I believe. But it kind of works for this, so we'll get that. Oh, these buildings are fantastic. And we're probably good with fire coverage, but police. So we're probably good on police. We should probably add in another temporary one right over here, because I think we need to make sure that the police stations are uniquely built and stuff like that. And I just don't have time for that in today's video, because I'm trying to fill in as much as I can before I hand it off to Joy for Joy's build. Didn't want to leave it too blank. I think it's looking a little bit better now. But inside of the police station tab are the banks, and the banks are so awesome. So I want to get the skyscraper bank in this city. So where could this go? Well, I was thinking it should probably be in the financial district area, right? So right outside of the plaza here, or the stock exchange, I think would be a really fun spot for it. So I think if we do that, I kind of want it on a road, though. It's a bit too big to be on a road on both sides. So I think we'll get away with placing it down right here. And then we should probably add a bit of a plaza in instead. Okay, so banks. We're just doing banks. Let's make sure we have another medium bank in here. So we have the skyscraper bank, but we want to get a medium bank in for sure. And I think a medium bank would look good kind of out this way, maybe right out in front of this hotel. They're pretty close together, but I think this would look good out here. Doesn't we should probably try to find a spot with a bit of a tighter grid actually for this one. I think we have some really small little places right here we could fit in. So yeah, let's add it out this way, and we'll run a road right behind here. Just like that. And then this way we could easily add in some small buildings to get a bit of lower density height through there. But then we can add in that bank for sure. Right here. Nice. And we just used that one in Port Roberts, that variation, so let's use this one. Awesome. Okay, so then in that little box, we can easily add in just a few office buildings. Now, we could also do commercial. I think that might be beneficial to do because it's right beside the bank. So that makes sense to do, right? All right. So with that in mind, I think there's just a few more kind of unique items to place down, including more parks. So I don't think our park coverage is very good. So let's make sure that we have some fun parks in this area. Awesome. Okay, so we have added in a bunch of stuff, and we should see some pockets of land value going up. Yeah, I think it'll go up as we develop more areas too. We have a really good area in here that's developing up, and then same thing over here. We see a bit of green on this side too. So we'll see kind of how things work out in the future development of this area. But I'm not the biggest fan of how these buildings are looking right here, so I'm thinking of taking those ones out, and then we'll add in some commercial instead through here. I think that'll probably be for the best. Okay, maybe we actually take out some of these offices too, because we've kind of been overdoing it with some of these offices, but it is a downtown after all, right? That's the idea. Tons of office space, including a signature office building over here too, which is pretty neat. Tower 41 from the UK. But yeah, I think we're getting some really, really awesome height in here now, and I think we're kind of seeing the difference between this and Port Roberts, right? Okay, so I think the only thing we need to do is just add a bit of detailing in this zone, and then I will call it, and I'll hand off the save for Joy for next week's videos. So let's start right here. What do we need? Definitely a path, at least from here to here, going around these tropical gardens. I think that would be fun, or a fun thing to kind of add in. So there's also no parking in this area, which is a bit unique. So we could add in some parking, or maybe we could try and squeeze in an underground parking lot or something like that. All right, folks, so here we have it. We have a bit of a detailing through here now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. So remember, if you want to follow the series next week, then you'll need to make sure you follow Joy so you can know when they come out. We'll have 2 episodes on Joy's channel, but I'll have them in the playlist here, so you can find it that way as well. But I'll be building in Fairstead next week, so I hope you enjoy that. I'm very excited to show you what I have planned. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, folks. Talk to you soon. Peace out.